What if we could reverse engineer longevity? I spent the last 20 years trying to do just that.
Hey guys, thanks for joining me today, and in this video we're going to discuss the top tips for Sardinia, Italy from Live to 100, Secrets of the Blue Zone documentary, Netflix original, starring Dan Buttner. And in this video I'm going to give you the tips that I took notes on, as well as a little more information from the Blue Zone's kitchen cookbook that I've been voraciously absorbing and reading and trying recipes from. You're not only going to enjoy the food, but also the tips on how to live longer, healthier, and more whole. But before we get started, be sure to like and subscribe for more videos like this, as well as my other videos on faith, health, and beauty all year round. So, once again, today we're visiting Sardinia, Italy. And Sardinia, Italy is an island 200 miles off the western coast of Italy in the Central Highlands that were originally settled by Bronze Age people. There's also mountainous regions and peaks and uphill areas where people constantly get exercise. For this region, this is one of the 5 blue zones where people live to be well beyond the hundreds. So there's lots of octogenarians, septuagenarians, and centenarians. And they comprise some of the highest numbers in the world of those ages. Sardinia, Italy looks beautiful when you see it in the documentary, as well as you see pictures online. And it looks so homey and earthy and warm and inviting. And it's a big contrast to places like Milan and Florence and Venice, because it looks like it's a whole nother world in its ruggedness and its beauty. And it's right next to the water again. So some of the things that were pointed out by the people in this area are that they do a lot of stair climbing or uphill climbing daily. So it's not something that they do on occasion. This is something they participate in daily. So they don't need to go to the gym or lift weights and do those other type of exercises. The uphill climbing and stairs are strength training for their lower bodies, as well as their cardiovascular health. Some of the things they recommended also were controlling your stress. And this is the second region or second zone that points out that this is really important. They also have a strong faith in this area as well, and they connect with each other daily. One thing that really stuck out is that the elderly aren't put in retirement homes or retirement communities. They band together to help take care of the elderly. Most of them remain living in their own homes where they've been for decades, and people come to visit them daily to cook food with them or bring food, to spend time, to hear stories, talk, and enjoy life, which is a stark contrast, unfortunately, to how things are done here in the United States. Nursing homes, retirement homes, and so forth are rampant all over the country. And you hear stories every day about parents who are being removed from their homes and placed into these places, and their homes and things sold. So, what is it that stands out about the foods in Sardinia, Italy? Well, one of the foods that is considered a longevity dish is minestrone. And they have three main types of minestrone that are cooked in this area. And it's explained that minestrone is considered, again, longevity food. It contains a melange of beans, zucchini, onions, tomatoes, garlic, and thyme, and it's a savory and homey dish, and of course made with all fresh vegetables. And as it happens, Butner points out, minestrone possesses all the characteristics of world-class longevity food. The Sardinian version, a pot of healthy amino acids, delivers all the protein necessary for human sustenance. The beans and vegetables also provide a huge dose of fiber, which feeds healthy gut bacteria, complex carbohydrates, and compounds that may regulate metabolism. And since the ingredients morph with the seasons, so does the flavor. In the Blue Zone's Kitchen Cookbook, which I have now, the first recipe is minestrone with fennel and wild garlic, which I've made and I've been told it's delicious. Minestrone with herb lentil and wild fennel, and then the Melisse family minestrone. Now what makes this one a standout is that this recipe was actually formulated by the Melisse family, and it's the family that has had more centenarians in their bloodline than any other family in the world. So this is a recipe I definitely recommend trying in the book to see how delicious it is, and it's something you want to add as a regular option for the meal plan in your home. One of the things I want to mention about the Sardinians is that they have culinary tradition. You see the thumbnail in the picture. I'll read what it says for you. In Sardinia, the art of making pasta, as with bread making, has been passed from grandmother to daughter to granddaughter for generations, shaping hand-kneaded and hand-mold pasta into the island's distinctive shapes is an art form and means for family pride. Sardinians have their own unique way of doing things, and that extends to their pasta. Some of the most recognizable varieties are shaped like flowers. Other popular forms include the herb-enhanced gnocchi-like pasta, laderos, and the toasted couscous-like pasta, fragula. So it's an important part of their meal plan as well. It's not heavily laden with oils and tons of herbs and sauce and different things like we do here. All these recipes have light ingredients, herby ingredients. And another thing that I really like is that salt and pepper are added after the food is cooked. I was told once a long time ago that you should add seasonings after the food cooks because cooking, including the moisture, dilutes the seasoning and herbs. And it came back to me after reading this book because it's true. Adding it after really has made a difference. Another thing that stands out for the Sardinians is that they greet each other with acantanos, which means may you live to 100. And this is something they say to each other on the street as they pass by, greeting each other, talking on the phone. So it's like the law of attraction, and they're putting out into the universe that this is not only what they wish for themselves, but for others as well. So to all of you, acantanos. Now, as I did in the previous video, I want to tell you quickly about the flavor profile combinations for Sardinia. These flavor pairings often populate Sardinia's most popular dishes, and you can use these compatible combinations to enhance any meal that you make. There's garlic, onions, and peppers. There's garlic, tomato, fennel, and olive oil. There's garlic, parsley, and olive oil. Mint and olive oil. Lentils, olive oil, and herbs. And fennel, potatoes, and olive oil. And I know it sounds simple, but it's so delicious when these combinations come together. I made a recipe called fennel and potato cassola in here, as well as cabbage and sun-dried tomato sauté. And with both of these aren't dishes that you cook for long periods of time. The nutrients and minerals and anthocyanins and all the goodness of the food remains in it because they aren't cooked very long. 6 to 7 minutes for one, 10 to 12 minutes for another for the cabbage. And I noticed that throughout the recipes in this entire book, but especially in Sardinia, that they don't cook vegetables long, and they tend to drizzle it after. I learned about some new vegetables in this documentary, and the one to come around a second time is Goya, or bitter melon. We learned about that in Okinawa, and now again it surfaces in Sardinia. And it is a vegetable that they eat frequently. So, if you haven't tried it yet, give it a try and let me know what you think in the comments below. I haven't found it yet. I've been looking for it. And it's difficult to find, I guess, outside of certain markets, but I'm going to keep trying. So, now, the same tenets that we heard about in Japan also apply to Sardinia. Always have fun, enjoy the present, don't get angry, and practice forgiveness and laugh. And in the documentary, you can see a whole lot of this going on. It was absolutely beautiful to see. So last but not least, we're going to cover the top longevity ingredients from Sardinia now. First, we've got barley, and it's ground into flour for bread or added to soups. It's the food most highly associated with Sardinian men living to 100. So if you're a guy and you're watching this video, grab some barley, start adding it to your foods, adding to your soups, finding different ways to incorporate barley and reap the benefits. We have fava beans, and they're eaten in soups and stews and deliver loads of protein and fiber. They're one of the foods most associated with living to 100. You can now easily find fava beans not only fresh but also frozen in just about every supermarket around the US. You also can find them canned, but I don't know if they're as healthy or not. I guess if they're organic and probably minimally processed and canned, they may be. I've never tried fava beans, so I'm going to get a can, as well as some frozen ones to try in some of the recipes that are here. I'll let you know what I think later.
What's the best tea to drink on a daily basis?
Wine.
I like the way you roll.
The third longevity ingredient from Sardinia is Cannonau wine. It is Sardinia's distinctive red. It's made from sun-stressed Grenache grapes. Sardinians drink an average of 3 to 4 small glasses of it a day. Sardinia is the most distinct and unique of the 20 Italian wine-producing regions, and most of the local vines are owned and ungrafted, and the resulting vintages are full-bodied, deep purple, and aromatic. Moreover, compared with other wines, Cannonau has the highest levels of anthocyanins and polyphenols. These antioxidants are linked to heart health. Studies have shown that consuming wine as part of a Mediterranean diet can reduce the risk of some cancers and cardiovascular disease. Fourth ingredient is kohlrabi, and kohlrabi contains many longevity nutrients including copper, manganese, iron, and potassium. It is also a rich source of fiber and calcium. You can also readily find kohlrabi anywhere in the U.S., and probably if you're living in other countries, it's even more easy to find. Next is fennel, and fennel is used as a vegetable. It's bulb and an herb from the fronds, and as a spice from its seeds. Fennel is rich in fiber and vitamins A, B, and C, and it's also a good diuretic, helping to maintain healthy blood pressure. I love fennel. It smells so good. I juice fennel. I juice the bulb as well as the stems and the fronds. I also take the bulb and I make raw vegan salads with it. And the stems themselves are very sweet. So if you cut the stems off and chop them up, and you can eat them just like they are, or add them to salads, but they're so sweet and they smell delicious because they smell like licorice. And lastly but not least, you can take the fronds and also, as I do, add them to salads, use them as an herb and condiment in different dishes, soups, salads, and so forth. I would try even adding it to some freshly baked bread. The fronds are so versatile and you'll love them. Potatoes are added to minestrone in Sardinia and help lower cholesterol and the risk of heart disease. As I mentioned earlier, sourdough bread is a really huge item eaten in Sardinia. It's known as marisotto, And it's made from whole wheat and live lactobacillus, which gives the bread its lower glycemic index. Yeast is not used. Now, olive oil has many longevity benefits, including anti-inflammatory properties and healthy monounsaturated fats. And Italians are famous for their daily use and ingestion of olive oil, preferably extra virgin olive oil. So you can find many ways to incorporate this into your diet. In these recipes that are included in the Blue Zone's kitchen, olive oil is used almost in every single recipe, and it's not heated to high levels where the nutrients are destroyed. So give it a try, see what you think. Rosemary is often picked fresh in Sardinian gardens, and it helps enhance memory, improve digestion, and prevent brain aging and cancer. I love rosemary. I like taking the stalks, placing them in mason jars, and just letting them dry out like that. And then when I need rosemary, I just get pieces off of it and crumble it into what I'm using. And tomatoes, of course, being Italy, they're a rich source of vitamin C and potassium and are used to make sauces that top Sardinian breads and pasta dishes. And their sauces are so simple and so easy. They only have like 5, possibly 6 ingredients. And they don't cook the sauce very long either. Give some of these items a chance and possibly add them to your own meal plans you already have on hand. I recommend reading the Blue Zone's Kitchen, trying some of the recipes written by Dan Butner and photographed by David McLean. It's a beautiful book to look at. The recipes are so simple, so easy, and the Sardinia recipes, as I mentioned, don't have a lot of ingredients. So not only is it healthier for your body, but it's also healthier for your budget. So give it a try. Come back and let me know what you think. If you've already watched the documentary or read the Blue Zone's Kitchen, be sure to let me know what you think in the comments below. And be sure to like and subscribe for more videos like this, as well as my other videos on faith, health, and beauty all year round. So thank you so much for watching. Stay tuned for the next Loma Linda, California. Yes, a place in the U.S. that has some of the longest living Americans in this one area. So with that, continue to be happy, healthy, and whole. I'm Julie. See you next time.
That is the promise of Blue Zone.